know more than Riley could find through research in a reasonable amount of time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you could run a seminar off of it.
Yeah.
You know, a freshman level
Golem
seminar.
Yeah, I could teach Golem 101.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you could totally TA Golem 101, which is better than anything Riley could do
right now
under normal circumstances.
In general. And then the other thing is he wants to find out more about the fact that he's actually using magic. So those are like since he's at Gaznig, it seems like an appropriate place to find out a lot of this information.
So I feel like, because you've already went to
the library,
college's library, you want to go to the labyrinth.
What's the labyrinth again?
The library, Gaznig's library, the community library.
Oh. Possibly.
A giant-ass fucking library that Grimalkin went to with the giant floating planar illusory planet thing, and that we kind of described a little bit earlier in the session.
Got.
That place is where it's either that or you're going to one of the other two colleges.
I mean, it's a good place to start, but that doesn't have to be now or anything. It's on his to-do list while we're here.
So let me
but we also don't
clarify
want you to have a solid session of 3.5 hours of doing that, so I think we should break it up a little bit, right?
I feel that, at least as far as what you want to do, Zach, I mean, minus like bullets and the gun, maybe, can be done later.
Okay.
Because it's not like you guys are going to be run out of Gaznig.
I gotcha.
You physically cannot because of Beavis. Like basically, you have plot immunity because of Beavis's family name.
Plot armor. Woohoo!
Yeah, plot.
Alright, cool. Then we won't worry about that right now. Then let's just go then, because the gun's on after getting here. The gun actually moved to the lowest thing on his list while here.
That's fine. Cool. So you all want to go with Thorgil. So you all head, and Thorgil, you know that, because I'm sure you've actually visited here a number of times, which I'll actually ask if Beavis has at any point. You all actually head towards the Echo of Heroes. The general's office is a off branch from there.
Mm-hmm. I would have. Like, I don't think I'm familiar with it, but I definitely would have been there at least once out of curiosity, you know?
So it's like a Catholic going to a synagogue kind of thing?
Yeah. Like, I've been there, but I probably don't. I couldn't find my way around blindfolded.
Right. Cool. Let me switch over.
Oh, it's huge. I didn't even see the people.
Yeah, so you make your way to the Hall of Heroes. The best description I can kind of give you is think very Viking Nordic, hall where they basically do this, and so there's these giant spits, and basically you're only seeing a portion of this place. It's huge. It's essentially a church for the dwarven people of the city. And so there's these huge spits roasting full pigs and other beasts rotating and being basted and everything like that. And they have at any point in time at least 2 or 3 bards singing songs of the greatest heroes. This is also where they have the giant stone sculptures of the heroes, both gnomes and dwarves. While the gnomes don't frequent this place because they don't see the spiritual importance for it, the dwarves recognize the importance of all peoples that are important towards Gaznig. And so walking through this place, basically down the middle, you have these giant spits roasting just the most delicious meat. Some of them pulled, some of them roasted, some of them broiled, some of them chickens and pork and whole cows or bulls rotated around, and these giant things. Dwarves love meat. Along the way, near each of the statues, they have these giant keggards that are bigger than everyone basically but Riley and Valar. in size around, all tapped and ready to pour the finest dwarven liquors and or just beers in general that Tavorel has seen, next to maybe, just maybe, probably Hodime might have better, because that is the mountain dwarves. But there's
Thorgil,
probably a fierce rivalry between the dwarves, the hill dwarves, and the mountain dwarves there.
are you still carrying your pony keg around on your back, or did you put it in our horse cart?
It's probably in the cart. I think it's heavy after months on my back.
Yeah, I didn't know how burly you wanted to be. Are you feeling a little inadequate though from all this delicious beer?
I definitely do want to pick up some more supplies for it while we're here.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah, you could get some high quality stuff here.
so you have those huge kegs, and you can actually see some of them in the picture, like on the right hand side of the screen. You can see some of like those keggards. Like that's the size of these kegs if you zoom in on the right hand side of the image. And I mean you're hit with the smell of fine meats being cooked and brews galore, and you're surrounded by these chanting melodies. And the thing that starts to catch you guys off guard, which none of you are bards, but you would still slowly recognize, is all the dwarves are performing separate from each other, about totally separate heroes and totally separate stories. But in some weird way, when it reaches the ceiling, the sound melds and starts to swirl and harmonizes to your ears. So even though they're telling three totally separate stories, it's kind of like I'm gonna kind of ruin this a little bit, but it's kind of like Simon and Garfunkel, where they sing two totally separate stories, but everything overlaps and manipulates between them. I think it's Sound of Silence is like one of their, or I can't remember, but like they have that weird like
Sound of Silence is them, and it's got that weird like harmonic thing you're talking about.
But they're telling two totally different stories. Or
the
Parsley
ones where they're,
Sage,
like 23 or something like that.
the Parsley Sage, Rosemary and Thyme, Remember.
Yeah.
She once was a love of mine. Anyways, but it's got that kind of like weird warbling in your ears as it happens, and you like there's a sense that they're not doing it on purpose. This isn't trained. They're separate people doing this, but maybe the magics or the ancestry powers of this hall innately time the people singing these songs to tell these stories together. And so basically you're absorbing these multiple stories at the same time.
But the hall's not like enchanted, right? It's just got like millennia of like happiness.
Roll me an
and all
Arcana check,
this.
Beavis.
Okay.
This will be a historic Arcana check.
Leave it.
Thorgil, this would be religion for you, if you wanted to do so.
Okay. No.
Oh damn, you've been rolling really low.
Yeah, good. Get them out of the way early before they matter.
Yeah, right. There definitely is a magic Beavis, but this isn't a normal Arcana. This is a celestial Arcana.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was thinking of it. It's just like it's magic because there's been so many generations of dwarves, and it's like.
And because oftentimes it's bards, dwarven bards playing, and so it's kind of like a wine cask where like the wine pulls into the oak and the oak gives back to the wine. The hall has this magic that's been played within it so long that the stone in the hall itself is almost enchanted with magic. There's so much magic poured in here, it can't help but become magical itself.
Cool.
Because I mean, we're talking.
I think that
thousands
when we walk in,
peasants.
Beavis stops talking for a little
Yeah.
while.
Well, I mean, like you're probably hit with it. Like this room vibrates to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's a little like, oh.
This is like walking near like arc reactor type vibrations to you from just being in here. Like you could just and like it's kind of that thing like when you go to like a concert, like people quiet and they don't know why they shut up. It's just like you just absorb the music because it's music kind of thing. That's this kind of hall. There's this massive vibration. And walking up to you is a small, well, not small, but a younger dwarf cleric who walks up to you and she goes, "Good day, sirs and ma'am. What can we do for you? Do you come for the ale or the roasts, to worship ancestors and heroes long past, or maybe something else?"
I mean,
Does anyone
those roasts
want
smell
to
pretty
do any
good.
of that, or else?
We haven't had second
take a little
breakfast
longer
yet.
before we get down to business.
Do you guys want to have a second breakfast?
I'm gonna pass.
Do they have roasted lamb and like roasted potatoes?
Anything roasted.
All right. Then Beavis will walk over, and you'll see him grab one of the patches on his robe that's shaped like a dagger, and pull it off. And as he pulls it off, it becomes an actual dagger in his hand. And
Yeah.
he spears a potato.
Yeah.
And he spears a potato, and he just kind of is munching on it and watching you guys.
Yeah, so you fork like a really nice baked potato, which has been slit and has like they don't have like bacon in it, but they have like the pork skin layered over it, so all the fat's dripping down into it like a pork belly, like the fat from a pork belly over the potato, which has been slit and inside. And then Beavis, when you eat into it, not only does it have this nice pork fat covering, but inside you immediately are hit with like the chives and the cheese and everything. It's basically a baked potato with like a nice layer of pork belly over it.
We'll walk back and hold it up to Valium and be like, "It's good." Like, one
Yeah.
bite. Are you gonna eat my potato, Valium?
He wants to know if you want to eat his potato.
No.
Your loss.
Yeah, and so Beavis, just you dive right into this thing, and it is succulent and juicy, and it's so good that like the pork fat's like dribbling down into like your little beard. Like there's nothing clean about eating food whatsoever. Probably why the gnomes slightly have disgust towards dwarves is because they're Riley, you're at home here. Like, the only people that eat even remotely close to as disgusting as you do are the dwarves. And I think you might.
He froze.
I was gonna say, I eat pretty messy.
Yeah. I mean, lizard folk do eat the most messy, but dwarves are a very close cousin. They don't eat messy, they just don't care about the hygiene of eating.
Yeah,
like,
I don't like
oh.
that at all.
I want that part of the chicken breast, and so they just grab that part of the chicken breast and rip it, where Riley just grabs the whole chicken
And just starts scarfing it, just like trying to swallow it whole.
and starts bulleting pelican style down the chicken. Or duck, or whatever. But yeah, this entire hall is filled with that. So you totally like go off of this, and there's still that young female dwarf priestess waiting there politely, like, "What can I do for you?" And like you see that she's a little bit young. She's probably like 40 or 50 years old as far as dwarven, like in real life years, which is still young for dwarves. And so she's a little bit impatient. It's like, I do have other things to do. But she's being polite about it as all five of you / Beavis going and immediately spitting a baked potato nearby. So she says, I'd be happy to help you with whatever you need. Just please let me know. What do you come to our hall for?
I want to point my potato
yeah,
dagger.
as
towards
I
him.
grab like a